Okay, so here we go. We've got the Gremlin collection all lined up. There's 6 games: Actua Soccer, Brainbender, Hardcore 4x4, Premier Manager 97, Utopia, The Creation of a Nation, and then the big hitter Zool. So we'll have a look at Actua Soccer first. It's from 1995, 2-player sports game. The beautiful game is back with one of its best incarnations in the 32-bit era, featuring 3D motion capture from top international footballers, commentary from the legendary Barry Davis, and TV-style presentation. We are reliably informed, nothing virtua about Actua. So this is a PS1 game. The Actua series was pretty big, fairly big, particularly in the UK, kind of in the mid to late 90s. So I believe you had Actua Soccer, you had golf, hockey, tennis. There might have been some other ones as well. There's a whole range of controls, as you can imagine. These later PS1 games, there'll be a lot more going on than your more basic SNES or NES games that you get on the Evercade. So let's load it up. I'm just going to go straight into the last save because I've played this one a little bit already. I'll just take us to the main menu so you can kind of see what's going on. So here we go, straight into the main menu. Get a nice kind of background 90s music. So there's a few different modes you can play. You can have a friendly game, you can play in a league, you can play in a cup, and there is a practice mode where basically what that consists of is just you playing an opposing team where their only player is their goalkeeper. So the rest of the pitch is empty, and it's just basically your team against the goalkeeper essentially. But it's kind of handy to try and get the hang of the controls and things like that. Now you can play in simulation or you can play in arcade, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what the difference is. I've tried playing both of them a few times over, and I can't really find any discernible difference between the two. I'm not sure if one is maybe easier. It's hard to tell sometimes when you pick, like, depending on what teams you pick. If you play Brazil against Saudi Arabia, you're going to have an easier time than a simulation game where you play Brazil v whoever, England. So it's hard to tell. There's an options in here, but there's no discernible difficulty kind of mode. So you can turn things like bookings off and random referees and wind speed and things like that. But there's no easy mode, normal, difficult, no direct difficulty settings. You can see the controls, and then you can basically get into the game. So we'll do that. We'll play on arcade mode. Like I say, I don't massively know the difference. And there's a lot of teams to choose from. There's no club teams. It's just national teams in this game. They did release a club edition a few years later on the PS1. So there's plenty of teams to choose from. Even Zambia's in here. They did get a good amount of teams in. So I'll go. Let's have a look. I don't want to spend too long choosing, but I'll go Mexico, and we'll take on not Italy because I'll get clowned on. Yeah, I'll take on Tunisia. So we'll dive into the game and have a little look at how it shakes up. Now I really like my old school retro football games. Even a couple of summers ago, I got really into the 2002 FIFA World Cup game on the GameCube. So games like that, games like the old ISS, the Pro Evos, some of the old FIFAs like FIFA 99, stuff like Sega Worldwide Soccer 2000, the Euro Edition one on the Dreamcast is really fun. I had not played Actua Soccer before until getting this cartridge, and I'd always been tempted to buy it for the PS1 or something like that, or even the Sega Saturn, so I'm pretty sure it's on there. But sadly, this game isn't really for me. I'm not a huge fan. And I'll go into a few reasons why. I mean, first of all, it is nice that they have the commentary from Barry Davis. That's a cool touch. I like the graphics are pretty good for a PS1 game. They look quite nice. The crowd sound is pretty good. I like the advertising with some of the Cadbury's chocolate bars. And if you're in the UK, that stuff's pretty cool. Get your Boost bar, your Swirl bar advertising. That's pretty nice. Even a bit of advertising for Loaded there, which is another Gremlin game from the time on the PS1 on the Saturn. But in terms of this game, the controls are awkward. The controls are tricky and difficult. It can be a bit sluggish to play. Now it says you can press the B button for a speed boost, but I've only ever noticed that happening there when I'm trying to get the ball back and I'm in defence. I don't think it actually does anything when you're on the offensive. It doesn't seem to do much. It doesn't seem to work. Oh, there we go. There's quite a few different camera angles you can play around with in this game as well, and I'll try and show you. Tunisia, they're trying to go for a really weird type of goal. So you can mix around your cameras. There we go. So you can have this above view camera, which is like almost like playing a different game entirely, a Game Boy game or something. I quite like. Let's have a look. I quite like this one. Yeah, I was on it. The goal line camera. I feel it works quite well. The only problem being when you're shooting in the other direction, you're kind of moving yourself towards the screen. It doesn't twist back round at half time, so that's a bit of a pain. As I struggle to get the ball off Tunisia here. And then the other main issue I have with the game is all based on shooting. So I'll try and see if I can get a shot in on Tunisia here and show you what I'm talking about. Alright, here we go. So I'll go for this touchline camera view. So that's kind of the classic one that I think most people would want to use. Even just tackling sometimes it can be a bit... I mean, like there, you would think they would have tackled me, you'd think a minute ago I'd tackle them, and sometimes it's just like the ball just kind of sticks to people and bounces around. It's a bit hard to describe, but it doesn't feel very fluid. Oh, here we go. Right, let's try and get on the offensive here. Oh, giving the ball away. Oh, back to my keeper. He's done a pretty good ball there. So I'm trying to do a speed boost here now, but I'm hammering the B button, but it doesn't seem to have any strong effect. We made the half-time goalless. I haven't had a shot yet to even tell you guys about what goes on with the shooting. But basically, if you're shooting the ball, you have to move the D-pad either left or right, depending on which way you're shooting the ball. You have to do it spot on accuracy. You need to be like lined up with the goal. If not, it's just always going to go wide. There's no way of kind of curling it in or twisting it in that I've seemed to find. It seems like it'll always just go wide. So it's quite frustrating in that respect. And obviously, if you're shooting it directly at the goalkeeper, he's fairly likely to get to it. So that doesn't necessarily help things either. So here we go. Let's see if we can get a shot in. You see, like I mean, it just bounces back to you. If you were to try and come in at a different angle, let's try and see if we can do that. Tunisia giving me more of a fight than I was expecting.
Good passing movement, variation they're showing.
Barry Davis is enjoying it at the very least. Although I have lost the ball, but have I got it back? He's got it back. But where's it going? This happens quite a lot as well. It's quite easy to just boot the ball out of play. Which isn't the best. Isn't the best vibe. Alright, here we go. Another long ball. Don't know where it's going. Not intending to do that. Just hitting the pass button. So don't know. I guess my team's slightly out of position. So there's a bit of panic maybe. Didn't see a fancy this one. I've missed with the slide tackle. No, I see that shot's gone wide. Let's see if we can get through this one. But like I said, it's not a goal fest, this game either. I mean, it's not. There's a lot of just passing around. It's hard to really get any good momentum going on either side. I feel the computer struggles with it sometimes as well. It's a shame because I don't like this game, but it's just a bit. It's lacking that kind of polish, that refinement. I'm equally not sure what Tunisia's trying to do. They're trying to do some really weird shot there where they go right onto the line and try and, I don't know, chip it in. I've had the computer do that to me before and I don't really know what that's about. It's not exactly a normal thing to do. No, it's bounced back, a block. Like passing can be difficult to the point where sometimes it feels like you're better off just trying to run through the entire pitch with one player and have a shot. It's slightly strange. But yeah, it's just a slightly frustrating game to play. It's not very smooth, and I have tried practicing throughout this week, trying to see if I can get any better with it, but it's it doesn't seem like it's to be for me. Ugh. Trying to take the shot on. It's not happening. Looks like we're going to have a stalemate here, a 0-0. Who are we? No, keeper's got to it. Oh, I booted it on. And there we go. So yeah, I hate to say it, I think your mileage may vary on this one. I think some people are going to like this game more than others, but I've found it to be not the most enjoyable game to play, sadly, and a bit of a disappointment. But I mean, maybe in a two-player setting when you're not playing the computer, I think you might have more fun with it. So I think that's worth a try. But otherwise, not much to this one. Sadly, it's not really my jam. So we'll move on and we'll play Brain Bender, which is from 1991. This is the one-player puzzler. Now this is an original Game Boy release, and you'll know that for sure when you see it, because it's got all the hallmarks of an old original Game Boy game to it, with the menus and the graphics and everything, the black and white. So you're a master of mirrors, bounce your laser beam around 120 levels to destroy gas spheres, shut down electro brains, and destroy the enemy satellite in this challenging puzzler. So the graphics, the controls rather, well, the graphics can be basic, the controls are going to be a lot more basic as well. So it's all about rotating mirrors and just getting the light essentially to go through some of these puzzles. So this is another one I've tried, and I'm not a huge fan of, and I don't think people are going to get too much out of this one either. Not to bash this cartridge kind of relentlessly from the jump, but this is another one I don't think is that impressive. So here we go. Let's try and set it up. So you pick your difficulty. I'll have easy for sure, and then you get your choice of levels. Let me just recalibrate the display here, because I feel like pixel perfect would be a little bit better. There we go. It's a bit nicer. So we'll play level 1. Now I've played this already, and I know for a fact that if you just these are the mirrors you've got to move. If you move them straight away like this, so you can kind of see what you're meant to be doing, it starts moving the light, and you just run out of time straight away. So you've got to kind of assess it, have a little look. You do get points as you go on, so when you need to restart, you use your points up to do it. But because you got no points from level 1, you just have to restart the game. Obviously, you can use the save states of the Evercade if you'd prefer to do it that way. That'll be a lot easier, so you can get through the game if you'd like to. So we'll play it again, and what you basically have to do is set everything up in advance, so it's all kind of ready to go. But I'll be honest, from playing it, it's not that much fun. I mean, I can see that maybe some people get into it. The controls are, as you can see here, they are very, very touchy, very delicate. The sounds, not much to write home about, but it is a Game Boy game. I mean, you're not going to get too much quality sound and stuff like that unless it's Pokemon or Zelda or something iconic. Most of it's going to be pretty basic. So this is kind of roughly what we need to do. You can see the timers kind of going down on that that right hand side, and that was what was going down rapidly last time I played it. So now you get a bit of a chance to try and sort out what you've made. That one seems okay. It's just got to try and connect it all up. Even saying that, I'm kind of running out of time here a bit. It's hard to remember which side moves what. I think I might run out of time, who knows. Let's see. It's going through. It's not going to make it. I've run out of time. Yeah, as you can probably tell, it's quite it's a bit of a sluggish, awkward game to play. It's not the most enjoyable. So yeah, I'll move on from this one. Let's not dwell on it for too long. And let's give a go to Hardcore 4x4, which is another PS1 game. This one released in 1996. Just a one-player racing game, as I say. I'm surprised it's not a two-player racing game. So let's have a look. Face off against 5 other tough truckers on some of the toughest off-road courses you'll ever encounter. Beat the championship on extreme difficulty to get your hands on the ultimate truck, and then use it to leave your opponents in the dust. So a little bit more complicated with controls. You can double tap the accelerate for nitro, and in each race I think you have 3 nitros you can use. So that's a little tip there hidden in the controls. Although I found that when I tried to use the nitros, I nearly always crash and get myself in a worse situation than I was in before. So that's something to bear in mind. You can use the shoulder buttons if you want to use the manual controls. I pretty much never do in a racing game. I'm automatic all the way, so that won't do much for me. And then R2 will blast the horn, and since it's R2, I'm assuming Evercade handheld users don't get the joy of blasting the horn out, which is a shame. So let's have a little look at this one. I've played this one a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going to blow you out of the water. I feel if I bought it back in the day on the PS1 for say £20-30, I think I'd probably be a little bit underwhelmed. But including it on this cartridge, it's not a bad little racing game to have a blast on. So it does have, definitely has a 90s feel to it. It feels like those old 90s racing games, things like almost like Screamer and Wipeout and stuff like that. So we'll dive in. It's a similar kind of menu setup to Actua Soccer here, thinking about it. So, oh, I think I've dived straight in when I didn't intend to. I think I'm going straight for a race. Hang on, let's might back out of that if I can. Here we go. We'll load a save up. I think I might have a save I can use maybe. Yeah, here we go. Let's go back to the menu. Right, I was a bit premature there, so. Here we go. So that very first one, that kicks off the race. So let's have a look. What race type do we want? A single race, championship, time trial? We'll just have a single race and see how that plays out. So you got your choice of trucks, got the Bushmaster, the Dust Devil, the Icebreaker, the Sidewinder, the Brimstone. They've all got different stats. Rock Hopper. I think the best mixed bag might be the Dust Devil, so we'll maybe go with him. Yeah, automatic transmission all the way. So we've got a few different tracks you can play. So Dynamite Pass is the first track you'll play, and then we've got a few we can choose from. You can have a little play with around forest, deserts, Arctic Inferno. That sounds fun, doesn't it? So let's give Arctic Inferno a try. It looks like I'll have to be novice, but I'm okay with that for the moment. And then you do get a range of different weather and time conditions, which is a nice feature. We'll have daytime severe. We'll give that a go. Bit of severe weather. So let's find out how that plays out and shakes out for us. So yeah, this one it controls fairly well, I would say. It is okay. It's definitely one I'm going to play a bit more of, and I'll show you guys how it plays out here. Alright, that's our intro. I think I'm going to struggle to see where I'm going here. That is severe weather. Let's have a look. One awkward bit I found as well is reversing the truck when you do get into trouble. That can be difficult. Right. I think the graphics though are pretty good. I mean, it's that 90s early PS1 vibe, but I think for a 3D modelled game of the time, it's not a bad looker. The main issue in this game tends to come with kind of knowing which way to go on the track. Sometimes it looks like you're going to go over a hill or something, and then it turns out that's just like a bit of terrain that you can't go onto, and you bounce off it and you crash around. I mean, like where am I going here, for example? There we go. Slightly wide. I was going backwards at one point there. It could do with a course kind of radar, so you know which direction you may be going in as well, or even just some direction arrows on the top, like you get in a rally game. That would be handy. I might have gone a bit overboard with the weather conditions here because it is tricky to see where I'm going. Now, if you double tap this accelerate, I can get a nitro kind of boost, but the thing is, it's hard to see where you're going. So I might boost straight into a wall, straight into a corner. So there might be a level of kind of getting to know the tracks, like in those old school racing games where you kind of play it through, you get to know the tracks, you get to know the turns, the corners, know where you're going, and then you're ready to dominate. I'm very much in the middle of the pack here. But like, despite that I'm kind of bouncing around, I feel like that's mainly the weather, but it does handle okay. The tracks can get quite thin and narrow and windy, so you do get hemmed in at points as well, and it's kind of hard not to end up bouncing around everywhere. The sound isn't too bad. It's nice that they got that kind of commentator to things. Background sounds kind of fitting for a game of this type. Kind of slightly extreme sports monster truck type vibe it's going for. Let's try and use a nitro. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. You try and use it and you just spin out sometimes. It gives you so much power that you can't even control the truck. So this bit here seems to really throw everyone off. I think I might just be in last. Is 6th last? I'm getting that kind of vibe at the minute. Okay. I'm doing pretty badly at all these games on this cartridge. They're just... I have won races in this, but I think the weather is my main enemy here. Just trying to even figure out where I'm going. Let's see if we can... Oh, I used the nitro, but the tunnel's caught me out. Right, let's try and reverse. There you go. So you got to use that L1, put yourself in reverse gear, then what would be accelerate, and there you go. You spin yourself back out. So it's slightly awkward control. It's a bit like something you get in like Crazy Taxi or something like that. You've got to put yourself in reverse gear and then use what would be accelerate to get yourself out of bother. Okay. Oh man, I'm into 5th. Someone else has had a bit of a mare. Like, it is quite enjoyable. I'm quite liking this race. It's just getting the hang of it. I feel the controls, and like I say, the weather has done me no favours. It's a shame there isn't something to make it easier to know which way to turn, which way to go. Like there's a little tiny kind of bit of like you need to turn this way, but they're few and far in between from what I've seen playing this game. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, the goal here is to just not come last place. If I can pull that off. As he uses his last nitro and slams into a wall. Oh, I got a good boost there though. Oh, I've spun out though. No. Got to try and stop this dude. We've got to try and stop him. There we go. It's not going to last. Oh. It's become a bit arduous, that. Oh, we're struggling now. We're slipping around. But yeah, just a bit more directional help. I feel that would have been a really easy thing to include, and it would have just made such a difference to knowing where you're going, and just really helping you out along the track. Because at the moment, it does feel a bit like you're just moving around blind, and you'd probably need to do some good practice on these. I think I'm going to come 6th. It looks like it's 6th place for me. At least I'm not dead last. I've caught up a couple times, but I'm trying, buddy. I'm moving it. Oh no, he's stuck again. Stuck again. I'm in a bad patch here. Oh boy. There we go. That's not going to do me any favours at all. This last lap has been horrific. Real slog for me to try and get through. Are we there? I think this is the end of the race. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. Race is over. That was a hard time at the office. But yeah, last place. Thank you for that. Beautiful. In any event, that is Hardcore 4x4. It's not a bad game. It's slightly rough around the edges, but I feel like there is some fun to be had on this one. Maybe trying to go through the championship mode. That's not too bad. I was only 20 seconds off first. I'll cling on to that. I'll take that. If you could play the time trial mode, maybe get to know the tracks a bit, and then work through the championships, I feel you could have some fun with it. So the next two games are slightly different in the respect that they are kind of more long form games, not something I can easily kind of show you and take a quick bash at, because they're the kind of games you need to invest some serious kind of time into. They're much slower games. So we've got Premier Manager 97 here, which was released in 1996 in advance of the turn of the year, I imagine. It's a two-player sports game. That's interesting to note. So it's a football management game. You've proven yourself on the field, but how will you do in the manager's hot seat? Build your team from 1,500 players drawn from the 1996-97 football season in the UK, and spend your money wisely and take aim for the top of the Premier League. So quite a few different controls and things to this one. You will, because ideally this is a PC game and this is like the Mega Drive version of it, you're going to be kind of using these 3 buttons to go in and out of menus quite a lot, and this is where, I think this is similar in Utopia, this is where the printed instruction manual is really king, that you get in the Evercade game release. So the actual printed manual is going to help you out a lot, because it'll tell you what all the icons mean, it'll tell you what's on each screen, where you need to go to do a certain thing, or such and such, so that can come in really helpful. So we'll dive into this one and see what it's like. Okay, so here we go. We've got the credits, interesting enough, to kick us off with. So we're going to have 1 player. You can have a full game, or you can have a demo. The demo lets you go straight to the top league of the UK footballing system, the Premier League. And then I'm led to believe you play through it as 1 season, then the demo is meant to end. But I believe you can actually keep it going. There's a way of doing that, so that's worth looking up if you just want to dive into the top tier. Otherwise, with the full game, you'll start in Division 3, right down the bottom, and you've got to kind of work your way up and get yourself up in the big leagues. So let's go for the full game. Start it off. I guess it doesn't really matter what I'm called, so let's try this out. I'll just name myself anything for the moment, and there we go. So here you can choose your team. So if you're watching this in the US, you might not have heard, or in other countries like Canada and stuff, Australia, you might not be too familiar with some of these teams. Cambridge United, we've got Barnet, Wigan Athletic, Torquay United, who certainly not up this high anymore. You've got teams like Swansea, who are now have been in the Premier League recently. Scarborough, Mansfield Town, Northampton Town, Lincoln, Leyton Orient, Hull. Hartlepool, we've got Fulham, who bounce up and down between the Premier League and the second tier of the Championship quite a lot. Exeter City, they're quite high up at this point in time. They're not anymore, I don't believe. Anyway, Cardiff City's another one that's become a lot bigger. We'll go Brighton. So here we go. Just waiting for the season to start. This is where you're going to need kind of the manual really, so you know what all these icons are representing. So in fact, I'll make the screen a bit bigger so that it shows up a little bit better. There we go. So the first thing that's flashing there is you want to sort out your sponsors. So, oh wow, you can get a Blaze Entertainment sponsor. How about that? So I think you can just put quite a lot of these at the start, because you're going to have these advertising hoardings around the pitch, and yeah, they won't be showing anything at all to begin with. So we'll get the Blaze one on. So there we go, we've got Blaze, and I suppose just get as many as you can for the time being. Yeah, no more available. So most of them, yeah, you can see there's still more that are empty. So it's something you have to come back to and keep an eye on. But quite a lot of them are filled up now. Now I'll get some income coming in, some money. So that'll be all gravy. So we can leave there. Let's have a look. So we've got a phone here. What can we do there? So this is really where you will need the manual, and I do not have it to hand, foolishly, so I wish I did. But you can see if there's any injuries, you can see the how your squad's doing at training. So if you hire a trainer, you can assign for them to train certain things, whether passing, shooting, fitness, stuff like that. And this is where you can hire people, the job centre, so you can kind of see what you want to get. So you hire a coach, a head coach maybe as well, a physio might be a good shout. So there we go. You can go back into the training now, and you can get people working on stuff, so like handling. You press the B button, get rid of that extra menu, or bring it back, so that's quite handy. You can work on my tackling. Maybe this guy, let's go on 81 at the top, FT fitness, so you can train all his fitness. You can play around with all this kind of stuff and give it all a go. A youth team coach, a scouting report. You might not need that at this early stage when you're in the bottom tier, so to speak. Might not be so necessary. Right, what else do we have? This is where you can amend your ground a bit. So probably won't be needing to do any of that in a minute, but you can do, you know, all kinds of things in here. Build car parks, all sorts of stuff. This arrow here is going to be the one you want to get you off some of these screens, so that's worth doing. And here you got your all kinds of like match news and fixtures, results, so you can see what's coming up. So I've got to play Barnet in the first week of the league. Let's have a look. I think these are our options. So in the options here, you can this will be whether to actually see the other games or not. So you're probably going to want to turn this off, I find, because you can look it up by yourself afterwards. You don't need to see a recap of all the other games that are going on. And this bottom bit, the animations, we'll keep it on for now. But if you want to play the game really quickly, you can turn off all the animations, and you'll blast through it really quickly. So let's get onto a game quickly. So we're going to play Barnet. Let's have a look. All our players are fine. So at the bottom, you can play around with the speed. You can really slow it down if you want to take quite an agonisingly long time to get through the game. Or if you're like me, you can just put it to ultra and just blast through. And those are the animations I'm talking about. So you can see when goals are maybe going to go in, when there's going to be a save, when there might be a penalty or a card, things like that. So you can kind of keep an eye on what's happening in the game somewhat. And if you want to slow things down, you can. Like, let's have a look. One of our players has got booked. Hobson's got a yellow card. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's up to you. It gives you the flexibility. You don't have to sit and watch it in full. Well, it's been a goal. It's a goal for Brighton, so that's happy days. So yeah, it's up to you what kind of speed you want to put on it. This game overall, I think it's a niche interest in a sense, particularly because it's kind of dated as well. So we'll go into the second half here. See if we can keep our lead. But yeah, it's one thing for it's equalised. Barnet's equalised 1-1. So it's one thing for it to be a football management game. That's already something that's only going to appeal to some people. But it being a one based in the UK 96-97 league. I mean, nearly 20 years ago. Only 30 years ago, I suppose. Thinking about it. Wow. But yeah, it looks like we're going to win this one. Only a few seconds left to play. So we're going to start our league off with a good win there. So thanks to Minton and Maskell for scoring the goals. So you should be able to now, I think, go to this. I think it's a fax machine. And yeah, you can get your roundup. So yeah, here you can see your results kind of easily. You can see news and things like that, transfers. You get a recap of the match that just happened. So you get some stats. It's all quite handy. If you were to turn some of the stuff back on, like we'll turn the Premier League one on and we'll turn the animations off, you can kind of see what I mean in terms of some of these aspects. Here's our team as well, so if you want to kind of make any substitutions, you can do that. You can play around with the team and see, like Hobson here is probably better off in defence, moving there. There's this guy, Chapman. He's not a very good defender. He's definitely not a good midfielder. I've got him there, so we'll swap him with someone else. Swap him with who can we swap him with? I don't have that many more players that fit the bill really. So I guess Minton, who scored the goal, he seems better suited to that position. And then as a shooter, I guess we got this as a Burn here on the bench. So you can play around with your team here, and get to know them a bit. You're always free to come up here, and you can see other bits of the screen. You can see your formation, style of playing. You can get player info on each one of them, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot to see. And if you're overwhelmed with all the symbols and you don't know where you're going or what you're going to be looking at, then the manual has quite a few pages that'll really make it clear for you and really help out. So we'll dive into another match. So Brighton v Wigan. Let's have a look. So this one we're going straight in. As you can see, there's no animations, and it's just that was the half, job done. So that's pretty handy. Don't want to make any substitutions, so just let it play. It's 3-2 at the minute, so you can slow it down and try and get into it a bit more if you want to. Another win for Brighton. That's coming up quite well. So after some early losses on the other games, it's good to get a bit of a rebound there. But the Premier League thing didn't come through. But I believe if you have these on, then you do get like recaps of other matches before you play yours. So that's one other aspect. Should we try that? See if that works here. It hasn't actually, no. But either way, you can have a play around with it, and this is definitely a game that you could sink a lot of time into, and you know, bring in your own players, climb up the leagues, try new formations, new tactics, and really give it a good go and get into it. But it's not something I'll show too much more of on this video. So the next game is Utopia, Creation of a Nation. So I think this is a Super Nintendo game from 1993, a strategy game just for the one player. You've been offered the job of colony leader in the proposed colonization of the Omicron Kappa planet orbiting the Rebus Sun. You have 10 planets to colonize, but be warned, it's highly likely that the Vaculo Federation will offer some resistance to your efforts. So there's quite a lot going on here as well, as you can see. So you've got all kinds of options. This is a game I haven't played yet. This is the only one on the cartridge I haven't given a go to. So I'll just jump in, and we'll see if I can get any kind of bearing with it. But again, like Premier Manager, this is one that you're going to need your manual close by, and awkwardly I do not have it to hand at the moment. But we'll see. We'll see what we can do. So. Okay, yeah, start a new game. Ooh. Well, I won't go on practice, so I'll just go on this one below it, I guess. We'll see. See what I can do. So there's something I'm putting down here, but I don't know what it is. Alright, so this gives me access to my toolbar, so I can see different things up here. I'll be honest, I'm not slightly sure where I'm going with some of this. Let's have a look. Okay, so you've got kind of a map here, so I suppose when you expand out, it's colour coded, so you can see what kind of stuff is around buildings, scaffolding, command centre, all kinds of stuff like that. Oh, you can actually alternate through it and see different things, so that's kind of cool. What about this one? Yeah, anything here? I'm not quite sure what that one does. I should have bought the manual for this. I'm regretting it. I'm regretting it already. Not quite sure where we're going. Right, so this is, I believe, how you build different buildings. So we might need some living quarters, maybe? Place for people to live. Security, missile launcher. Or living quarters, okay. So let's see if we can build that. So it'll take a bit of time to build, I think. Do I get a choice of where to put it? Or did I just leave a screen that I didn't intend to? I do not know. I'm a bit lost. This is one that you're going to need to read up on a bit and know what you're doing and get used to the controls, get used to how it all runs and the layout. Oh, there you go. I think it's Y to actually put something down, so I've put that one down. Whatever that was, I've put it down. Let's see. That's not what I want to do. That's okay, fair enough. Ooh. What's going on here? Right. Yeah, I'm lost here, guys. I'm absolutely lost. I'm not even sure what menu I'm on. Right, I'm trying to get to this menu. I'm trying to get back to that space I was on when I could see the buildings and stuff. Oh, hello. I guess this is like my council or something along those lines. So I can talk to people. No, I'm out of that menu as well. Bit of a confusing one. It's hard to gauge a game like this. There we go. Right, so this is what I want to build. Right, that goes into the menu. That's what I want to choose. But it just takes me out. Can I press start? No. Let's have a look at these controllers again. So, build query. Builders. Right, switch between build. Okay. So it might be Y. Did that work? I think it did. I think it's on the screen. Something's on the screen, nonetheless. Let's try and see if we can build this. Build it here? It's back to that truck again. Yeah, okay. There's something else I can build about. I don't think it's the living quarters. Right, I might have to wrap this one up because it's devilishly hard to know what I'm really doing. This is harder, I would say, than Premier Manager 97 to get a grip of, just because there's so many different things you don't quite know what they represent or what's going on. So I'll put that one on ice, and then we'll go to the big hit, the smash hit of this cartridge, I would say, and probably the most easily accessible game to just dive into and have a quick go at, and that is Zool from 1992, one-player platform game. Pretty straightforward controls, I think, in this one. It's just fire, jump. You can punch the enemies and spin around the air. Let's have a look. Zool is not an ant. He is the guardian of the nth dimension, the protector of creative thought, and defender of positive action. All right then. Collect the objects scattered across 7 worlds and pursue the evil cruel as he attempts to deprive the universe of its imagination. Right, so let's give this one a little play. So this is like a platform game, and it kind of is Gremlins. Well, at the time it was Gremlins, kind of. I suppose not answer to Mario or Sonic, but it's definitely along that kind of line. A game like this. It's definitely got some Sonic influence to it. So let's have a look. Let's get some options in first. You can mess around with the difficulty. I'll just stop it on easy. Give me some continues. Why not? Need what help I can get in a minute. So we'll dive in. Level 1-1. So we've got to get all the like objects in the stage, I believe. So all these like candy, sweet treats and the like. Got to pick them all up. Take out the enemies. Let this be. Oh god. There's some sweet branding as well for sugar chops back in the day. There's sweet lollipops. I'm surprised that's made the cut as well. Much like Barry Davis, it's still in here. Does move very fast. This you've got to be kind of on the ball. So these are checkpoints, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. So we got a checkpoint in. So that's a good start. But yeah, it's a fast-paced game, this one for sure. It's very, very quick. Guess I can't get them. It's kind of hard to avoid them in like certain circumstances. Bee avoided me. There we go. This is pretty fun though, yeah. So once you kind of have to get used to the speed, because at the start it's just bombing through. Don't think you can actually get rid of those enemies. Just got to avoid them. Oh, caught out. Caught out. It's kind of hard to see where you're going to land and what kind of enemies you're going to face. It is quite similar to kind of old school Sonic games in that respect. Like you can just end up in a bit of a dicey situation about really being ready for it, prepared. That guy's gone now. There we go. Made it to the checkpoint. You can crouch down and all that kind of stuff. Get a different shot on people. Picked up something there. Oh. Oh wow. Here we go. Yeah, the music's pretty good. It's fast paced. It's it's definitely the most accessible kind of game that you can have a blast on this cartridge, I would say. So yeah, a nice fun one. I think overall as a cartridge, it's a bit of a mixed bag. It's not going to be for everyone, this one. So we'll wrap it up there, I think, because you kind of get the idea with Zool. But I feel I feel like I could get into Premier Manager 97, but it's a bit of an acquired taste. Utopia. Similar thing, but I'm going to need that manual to hand to have any idea of what's going on. Even though I can see myself making a lot of mistakes, and it's going to be kind of touch and go. Hardcore 4x4 is quite fun, but again, it's not without its issues. And the same can be said for Actua Soccer. It could be more fun in a multiplayer setting, that one, but I feel the controls and the lack of fluidity in the way the football actually plays isn't really for me. Isn't that brilliant? Brainbender, well, they're not Banebender. Is not really for me. I didn't find that very enjoyable at all, even just playing the one level. I've played it a little bit last week and tried to get a bit further in it, and it's just not very fun, really. I think they've just kind of thrown that one on as a quick Game Boy game just to add a little bit extra with the PlayStation games taking up the bulk of the cartridge, I suppose. And Zool is good fun, and that's what I'm gonna work through and play a bit more of. So so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little look at the Gremlin Collection 1 cartridge. Be be interested to see what might come on a Gremlin collection too, maybe some other Actua games, more sports titles. They do have quite a big back catalogue they can delve into, I think. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have liked it, maybe give it a share or thumbs up or subscribe, that would be brilliant. And until then, I will see you next time. So take it easy and thanks for watching.